All right, here we are, Championship Saturday. Game 7. Game 7 here, Bristow and Bethel. We're being joined by two of the Kellyville seniors, Justin Miles, Owen Bellis. Welcome, guys. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Starting lineup's just getting underway here. Well, gentlemen, you look nice.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Look really good. You guys excited to play tonight?
Oh, yeah. Yes,
Well, so senior year. Seems like it flew by, huh?
Oh, yeah. It's flying by.
Y'all are doing really good. Very good. Very good. So, well, just got a couple questions for you. So, you know, this first time Kellyville's hosted a tournament in the new event center. How's it feel?
It feels pretty special, really, being the first team that got the privilege to be a part of the tournament, especially make it to the championship game and hopefully take home this gold ball.
Right. Championship Saturday. You know, looking forward to the later games. Have you guys been to any of the games today?
No, we haven't.
Nope. Not today, but have you guys been to other games in the tournament though? Just kind of watching other teams and how they work, how they move. Has that helped you guys any at all going through those games?
Yeah, a little bit. Like we went to the Bethel's first game and we played them last night. Got to see what they kind of do. We've been to one of the Colcord games, so that was good to watch them. So we're ready for tonight.
And so Coach Fairchild, I'm assuming he was up here yesterday talking really good about you guys. Obviously, he's a great coach. You guys are doing really good. Got you guys dressed up in suits.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm assuming that was of his doing.
Uh-huh.
And so as you guys are walking through, you guys look really good. I heard you guys went through another walkthrough today?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did.
Where was that at?
Over at the old high school gym.
And so were the classes out, the classes out, or you guys just walk through?
Just walk through.
Just walk through. Well, it was great to have you guys. I hope
Appreciate
you guys do good. So Championship Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you guys ever go back and watch our stuff as your film, or if you guys do it on Huddle, or how you do it, but excited to watch you guys play tonight. Excited to see you guys. You guys have done amazing this year. You know, I could go on and on with you guys about this, but I know you guys got other priorities, so I'm going to go ahead and let you go.
All right, thank you.
But tremendous to talk to you guys. Good to see you. Good to talk to you.
Good to
Thank
see
you guys for coming by.
No problem. Thank you for having us.
Good luck tonight. Something new for Kellyville basketball. I've never seen it since I've been here, and so the boys basketball team all walked in, and they're all in sports coats and ties, shirts and ties, and look great. So
they really do, and they look like businessmen sitting over there, and
yeah, I'm gonna have to get a picture of them
over the student section. I mean, they look professional. That looks like something the NBA would walk in to.
You know, they talk about real quick, and we'll get to this game, but they talk about, at least in my profession in law enforcement, your presence, your command presence is a lot to your opponent. So coming in looking like that can kind of be intimidating sometimes. So I commend them. They all look very sharp. Hopefully they play as well as they look tonight.
Now, Terry, I'm not as near good as interview as you are.
That's all right.
I am not good at it at all.
I didn't have. Well, we actually had a headset about halfway through. I realized we had an extra one. I could have got on mic with you, but it's fine. You know, those guys are having a really great season.
Yep, that's one thing I congratulated them on. I asked them about how the tournament feels to them, how it feels to be playing in the tournament, and Owen said that it's been a really good feeling. And it also feels good to be playing on Championship Saturday. So very good to have them on.
I think it's great. You know, first annual tournament here, and at least one of the two teams, Kellyville teams, has made it to the championship game. So, regardless of the outcome here later tonight, it's been a fantastic tournament. But let's get concentrated on this game in front of us. This is going to be a great game between Bethel and Bristow. Tight score right now, 5-2, with about 5 minutes left in the first.
I don't have a roster sheet in front of me, but
Somewhere in there.
somewhere in this monstrosity that I've been given. Oh, they're on back-to-back sheets, so that's wonderful. But Ava Yoakum 3. Tied up game, 5-5. 4:10 remaining in the first. I believe that was Duff. Her shot, three-pointer. Nope, sorry, Stevenson. Stevenson playing hard defense too. Ball goes out of bounds, last touch by McGehee. You know, Bethel been one of the higher scoring teams, but Bristow has been as well, so this is really a matchup set from the get-go.
Yeah, I just, you know, not counting Bristow out at all. I mean, Bristow, fantastic team. That first game that I watched Bethel play, just both sides of the ball were just so spot on. It's going to be a tough game, but we'll see. We'll see what the turnout is. Both these teams have great athletes, so. And keep in mind, Bethel ranked number 2 in Class 3A, so, and from what I've seen, rightfully so. A lot of great talent.
Well, something I just saw was the Bethel bench was standing up. I didn't think that was allowed until the ref. I finally saw him tell the coach, "Hey, you know, sit your players down. They can't be up." I didn't think it was allowed, and I was
wondering.
I was wondering because, you know, I was always been told that, you know, couldn't do that. You couldn't have more than the coach standing up and the head coach. You can't even have an assistant coach standing up for longer than a few seconds. But, yeah, he finally came over there and said, "Hey, you know, players need to sit down," which I'm glad he went over there and said that instead of, you know, giving them a technical foul or something for having them standing up. Stevenson, foul, her first of the game.
Alexander with the ball. Alexander had a great game last night. I believe she got close to 30, like 28 points. In Bristow's contest last night. So, again, both teams with some good
Alexander move there.
Wow.
Wow.
We saw that last night. She comes in that paint with authority. And
that foul's going to be on Duff. I believe that's her first. Yep, her first foul of the game. But man, let's talk about number 1, Addison Alexander. That was a power move there.
Yeah.
And Stevenson, her three-pointer on the mark.
Stevenson knocks that ball, and that's what I'm talking about with Bethel. You know, they may not get the turnover, but they cause that disruption and can really take the kind of the groove out of the offense. They've done that a lot, disrupting passes, knocking it out of bounds. But Bristow Edmondson, there, easy lay in.
Stepped on the line there, Tapley.
Kind of an unusual turnover there for Bethel. They also didn't have a whole lot of turnovers in the matches that I watched. Pretty solid on both sides and very few turnovers. So. McGee's going to take a break. She had a word with the ref. I don't know what was happening, but as she was leaving the game, she had an exchange with the ref there. Yoakum. They can't get it to go. Roebuck got the rebound, tried to put it back, couldn't get it. And there's another turnover.
Yeah, that, you know.
So both these teams may just be, you know, just kind of getting settled in here in the first period. Big game. I'm sure they're both extremely excited to be in the championship game. So
I believe some of them have played in the earlier games too the past couple days. Well, not necessarily Bristow. Good pass inside there. Just off the mark. Off the front iron. Now Bethel driving it down.
Bristow getting hands on it. Unfortunately, there's a foul called there on Bristow as McGee gets it over to, she got it over to Thomas, who was all alone and made the shot, but the foul was called way before.
There's not many times you'd want to take a foul call back, but I think that's one of them where they would.
They definitely would have wanted that one back. Almost like in the NFL. We decline.
Yeah, we decline that penalty. We'll take the points. Well, maybe. Never mind.
Never mind.
We decline the decline.
Yeah. And McGee in the corner for three. Well, Bristow seems to be working past Bethel's press. Bethel's got a good press. The other teams have just struggled and didn't have an answer, but Bristow seems to at least be getting it past half court. Edmondson for three. Right at the buzzer, and it's no good.
That was quick, first quarter, very quick.
So Bethel with the 4-point lead, 14-10. You know, I'm gonna be a little biased here. Sorry, Bethel fans, if you're watching and listening. I am rooting for Bristow. Just they're our neighbors right up Route 66, and so got to kind of root for them. But however, if I'm being honest with myself, if I pre-game would have picked a winner, I probably would have, and still probably going to pick Bethel. I just don't know that Bristow can overcome just how good they are on both sides of the ball. But you never know. I mean, 4-point game after a quarter. Bristow definitely has the talent to hang right there with them. But I just feel like after watching a couple of games Bethel play, I feel like they're got the talent to pull this out. But we'll see. I just hope for a close one. wouldn't mind like earlier today. I mean, went into overtime, and you know, I'm sure both groups of fans for these teams don't want any overtime game, but I definitely don't want one for the last game of the night.
Yeah.
Don't want our boys in overtime, but it's okay if it's two teams that. I just want a competitive championship game, and
I've had my overtime for the day, so I'm overtime out, but
nice
good move there.
Oh, just couldn't get it to go. Yeah, I just, you know, I always want a real competitive game, especially if it's for a championship. McGehee sinks her first one. Here's that press, but Bristow able to get by. Alexander in the corner. She's going to double teamed in the corner. She's going to be able to get rid of it, but Evanson and McGehee gets it away from Evanson, but she's called for a foul. That's Josie McGehee. Just going to be her first. I just now realized the team fouls. So Bethel, that's number 7 on team fouls for Bethel. Bristow with, that'll be Bristow's 3rd team foul. So Bristow already in bonus here with not even a minute expired in the 2nd quarter. That could become a factor. Stevenson's long 3. Bounces off the rim. Ball still loose on the floor. And I didn't see which.
Call Bristow, 22.
Bristow's 22. Roberts, she got that and then fell down and got called for the travel. Edmondson can't get it to go. There's Thomas on the rebound there for Bethel. And underneath, all by herself, is Thomas. So Thomas with the rebound on one end and gets down the other end and camps out under the goal and takes a pass and puts it in for 2. So 8-point lead here for Bethel. Bristol needs to get a stop and kind of keep this lead from growing here. Okay, we're going to get back underway from the timeout. Here comes Bristow. They get past the press again. Alexander. And right on the line as Stevenson knocks that ball loose. So Bristow ball. And I believe Thomas going to be doing the inbound work, or I'm sorry, Morgan. Yoakum. For Roberts, back to Alexander. Alexander kicks out to Morgan. Morgan for 3. It's off the mark. Roberts able to get it and get it back to Alexander. Alexander to Yoakum. Roberts to Edmondson. Edmondson brought the double team up, and she went to dribble and ran right into number 5, Duff. And she drew a foul, and to be her second. So that puts Edmondson at the line for Bristow with 1-1. So the bonus a factor here early in the second quarter. And Edmondson makes the first, so she'll get a second attempt here. And she gets both of them, so cuts it to a 6-point lead. And McGehee bringing the ball down. Over to Tapley, in the corner to Tucker. And her shot's off the mark. Here comes Stevenson down the baseline, gets it in the paint to Tapley. She tries to shoot, and she's going to be fouled, so she'll go to the line. And that foul's on Morgan for Bristow, her second foul. Tapley's first free throw is no good. Rebound Bristow. And I looked down just as they shot. So I didn't see who.
Alexander.
Josie McGehee had a shot, got her own rebound, tried to put it back up. It was no good, and then that rebound went out of bounds. Here comes Alexander for Bristow. Nice traffic created by Yoakum to allow Alexander to go right down the paint, in for the layup. And just like that, it's a 2-point game. Edmondson with the rebound. Gets it to Morgan. Morgan with the layup. We have a tie ball game. So Bristow was down by 8 about a minute and a half ago, and they closed the gap. We got a tie ball game at 4 minutes, 50 seconds left in the half. Bethel, their team foul count is 8. Bristow's is 4. So Bristow was in bonus really within the first 2 minutes of the second quarter, and they've gone to the line a couple of times at 1-1. Here's Tapley, gets it. McGehee working baseline, and she's going to get it to go and draw the foul. That's Josie McGehee. She'll go to the line for the attempt at three-point play. And she makes it. Alexander. Yoakum. Back to Alexander. Alexander deep three. That ball is contested. Morgan comes up with it, but then number 11, Davidson, is able to tie it up for jump ball. That ball's tipped. Alexander was trying to get it to Roberts. And there's McGehee again, drawing the foul. The shot's no good, but she'll go to the line for two. It's going to be Roberts' third foul there for Bristow. So I believe she's going to take a break, and she does. Roebuck comes in her place. And McGehee with the free throw. So 22-18 with 4 minutes remaining in the half. Morgan giving it back to Alexander. Alexander over to Roebuck. Roebuck to Edmondson, back to Alexander. Alexander surveying the field, and she gets it to Morgan. Morgan hands it back to Alexander. Alexander to the top of the key. Has a screen set up, but that closed pretty quickly, so she back to Yoakum. Yoakum back to Alexander. Comes Alexander. On the floor, a foul called. Alexander kind of tried to run the baseline around Stevenson's and ran into a wall there against Tucker. But Stevenson committed the foul. So Alexander 1-1 here. And she sinks the first one. So that's Bethel. That's number 9 on team foul for Bethel. So one more and Bristow B and double bonus. That shot's in and out, rebounded by Josie McGehee. Alexander over to Lily McGehee. Josie all the way across to Stevenson. Stevenson with 3, and it's good. Alexander, top of the key, survey in the field. Oh, McGehee knocks the ball loose. She goes to pass it, and that ball is tipped. She gets it back, puts it up. No good, but Stevenson right there for the rebound and put back. Or I'm sorry, Davidson. Morgan driving the paint. And she's going to commit a charge. And that's Morgan's third foul, so she's going to take a break. So Bethel now in bonus with 1:50 left here in the half. Stevenson down to Davison. And there's Lily McGehee for 3. So quickly, kind of quietly actually, Bethel jumped to 11-point lead. But they were up by 8. Bristow came back and tied it. And then there's another steal by McGehee. Josie can't get it to go, but Stevens is right there for the rebound and putback. So now Bristow's looking at a 13-point deficit with 1:02 left. And Jacob, that's what I was talking about with this team. I mean, with this Bethel team, they're so strong on both sides of the ball. Their opponents just have a hard time catching a break. As soon as Bristow, got up there and tied the game, I mean, a couple of possessions and Bethel was on a roll.
Well, Bethel girls basketball is what Texas Longhorn football has been trying to achieve for years. All gas, no brakes. They don't put the brakes on at all. They don't give the other team a chance. So once they start going, they never stop.
Yeah, and they're pretty nonstop too. When they played that first game, they played Vian, which they were a total mismatch there. But they continued to press pretty much the entire game and play defense, with the turnovers and everything else, causing the turnovers. So there's Alexander in the paint for two. And they got up by 60 at one point, and I even mentioned something about the fact that they left their starters in up by 60.
They didn't stop.
No, they kept their foot on the gas.
I mean, why take your starters out when you're up 60? You can go up 70. Like, that's the mentality that they have.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Nice play by Alexander. One-handed off the glass layup and drew the foul. And now, see, here comes Bristow trying to charge back and close this gap just before half. 20 seconds remaining. Stevenson. Alexander with the rebound. Alexander's going to have to hurry. 1 second.
Oh, man.
He almost gets it. So right there, your halftime score, 32-24. So 8-point deficit for Bristow. See if they can't make a few adjustments and come out. They did last night. Bristow went in the locker room and came back and came back out and made some good adjustments, and so we'll see what happens. We got 10 minutes on the clock. We're going to be back here in about 7 or 8 minutes.
All right, here we go.
But I'll never forget. Taylor's like, how does he know? Okay, back at it here. Second half of your Kellyville Invitational Girls Basketball Championship game here Saturday night live in Kellyville. Got Bethel and Bristow if you're just now joining us. Bethel is up 32-24. But Bristow is hanging in and making this a game. Yoakum to Alexander. Alexander back to Yoakum. Excuse me. Over to Edmondson. Edmondson and McGehee. Joseph McGehee knocks that ball loose from Edmondson. Goes in for the layup. And she's going to be fouled. So count the basket and she'll go to the line. There's been several of those tonight. So that takes it a 10-point lead, and she'll have an opportunity here to make it 11. And that's in and out, but Stevenson with the rebound. And Stevenson puts it back up for 2. So an extra. Yoakum to Alexander. Alexander kicks out to Morgan. Morgan driving the paint, puts it up, can't get it to go. Lily McGehee with the rebound. I believe she's going to be fouled by Morgan. And that's Morgan's 4th foul. So early here in the 3rd period, she's going to have to be careful for the remainder. Davison. And there's a nice steal by Edmondson for Bristow. Morgan outside for 3, and it's off the front of the rim. And I believe Davison was the recipient of the rebound. Stevenson, top of the key. Alexander guarding. And that ball's knocked loose. Edmondson came up with it, and she goes floater in the paint. So give credit to Morgan from Bristow knocking that ball loose. And Edmondson down and puts it in for 2. Right underneath McGehee. The shot, can't get it, and then Roebuck gets the rebound, and it's double teamed by the McGehee sisters to tie it up, I believe. Yeah, they tied it up on a jump ball. Possession here of Bristow. So Roebuck had a McGehee on either side of her. Tie that ball up. Alexander. Edmondson sets the screen. Back to Morgan. Back to Alexander. Alexander loses it for a moment. And steps out for a jumper on the baseline. It's good for 2. Stevenson coming down. Over to Lily McGehee. She gets it back to Stevenson. And then underneath, nobody around. Davison's waiting on the ball, and easy 2 for her. She was standing all alone, got away from the defender. So 10-point ball game. This keeps going back and forth to staying somewhere between 7 and 10 to 11 points. There's a nice deflection there by Josie McGehee on that shot. Roebuck with the easy lay-in. She's going to be fouled, so she goes to the line shooting one. And again, Bristow cuts it to 8 with a chance to cut it to 7 right here. And Roebuck. Ball bounces straight up off the back iron, straight up in the air, and then comes back down through the net, so it's good. That ball's tipped, but Bethel able to maintain it there. And that was Thomas in the paint. She was fouled at her shot attempt. And that was Yoakum with the foul. Just one foul for Yoakum. Here's Thomas. Her first attempt is no good. And her second one's no good. Rebound by Yoakum. Here comes Alexander. And that ball's tipped as she tried to get it back to Yoakum, and she was trapped on the sideline. And McGehee, going back to what I said earlier, the defense is just, they play that trap and get them against the sideline, and that's what McGehee did to Alexander, and she tried to get it over to Yoakum. McGehee was able to tip it and take it from her and go in for a layup. And the ref wasn't wasting time. He set the ball on the inbounds, and Bristow had to run down there to beat the 5-second count as we came out of that timeout. So Stevenson bringing the ball down for Bethel. Over to McGehee, inside to Stevenson. Stevenson gets it back over to Thomas. She puts it in for 2. Alexander driving down the paint. She's got a pretty one-handed lay-in from really either side of the goal. McGehee. So Josie McGehee gets the pass from her sister Lily, and then she passes it down underneath to Thomas for the easy 2. So back to 11 here. So Bristow ball coming out of the timeout. 2:43 left here in the third. Yoakum over to Edmondson. Edmondson's got an easy lane drive to the bucket for two. And she was able to fly past Josie McGehee. Here comes McGehee working on Roebuck. And she gets it for two. Here comes Edmondson. She powers in. That ball's blocked by McGehee. McGehee long pass.
Oh.
And there's a big collision as Yoakum was watching the ball, trying to intercept the ball as Lily McGehee was standing there waiting to receive it. And a big collision knocking both girls to the floor, and both of them kind of get up gingerly, but seem to be okay. So Josie McGehee back to Lily McGehee, back to Josie McGehee, and she's good for three with the assist from her sister. I say sister, I'm assuming. I guess it's possible they could be cousins, but they look like sisters. I don't know that for sure. So Alexander over to Edmondson. Edmondson to Morgan. Here comes Edmondson. Yoakum back to Morgan. That ball's knocked loose for a moment by Stevenson. Here comes Alexander with that one-handed layup, but she can't get it to go this time. And what a pass from Stevenson to Josie McGehee. I'm not sure on how many points Josie McGehee has, but definitely, without a doubt, in double digits, if not in the 20s. Morgan. It's Davidson working against Morgan. Here comes Alexander down the paint. She tries the one-handed lay-in again. She's going to be fouled, I believe, by Stevenson. Oh, correction. She's fouled by Josie McGehee. And Davidson makes her first. That's Josie McGeehee's second foul. And that second attempt is off the front of the rim. Rebound Stevenson. Or correction, Davidson. Lily McGehee gets it to Davidson. Stevenson deep three, and it's no good. Edmondson rebound and gets it up to Alexander, who's all by herself, who was able to get that in just before the buzzer. So 51-38. So 13-point ball game. This game is going back and forth, but it's keeping that. Bethel's able to keep that spread of anywhere from 7 to, I guess now 13 points. It seems like just as soon as Bristow closes it down to 7, then Bethel puts it back up to 10 or 11. So here we go, 1 quarter left. Bristow will have a chance to work on that point deficit. They're going to have to get a couple of key stops and take advantage of every offensive possession. Bethel was just team foul count of 2. So they got several fouls to give. Bristow with 4. Davidson inbounds to Stevenson. Stevenson over to Lily McGehee. Pass it to McGehee in the paint. She gets it back out to Thomas, I believe. Yeah, it's going to be Thomas. Can't get it to go. Stevenson. Bristow coach wanted back court. Didn't get the call. Davidson with the rebound there. Here comes McGehee. Puts it underneath. Nice block. Nice defense by Edmondson. Stevenson to Davidson. To Josie McGehee. She gets it. Josie McGehee for 3, and it's good. Jacob, I'm just curious, see if you can contact the scorer's table and see where Josie McGehee is on points. We're not keeping stats down here, and I wish we had a communication device between us and them. So Lily McGehee called for a foul, and that's her 3rd. Yoakum in the corner for 3, no good. And here comes Stevenson for Bethel. And I believe that pass was going to be deflected off of Bristow. Josie McGehee, that pass is just too tall. It's saved, but it goes directly to Edmondson. It was saved by Stevenson. Goes to Evanson, and then so both McGehee sisters have 3 fouls apiece on that foul they're called. As Edmondson was trying to come up the court with it. Alexander for 3, and away from the ball, Edmondson goes flying across the floor. And that's going to be Lily McGee's 4th, so she's going to take a break here with 6:14 left in the 4th. And in comes Tapley.
Josie McGee's at 25 points right now.
Okay, there we go. I knew she probably had to be in the 20s. Yoakum's shot was deflected, and that ball's going to be thrown out of bounds as Stevenson was trying to get it underneath the basket and just too strong. Here comes Alexander. Edmondson, Alexander. Alexander to Morgan. Yoakum, and that pass is deflected by McGehee, and Stevenson picks it up, so turnover for Bristow. Davidson out to Stevenson, back to Thomas, who was waiting underneath the goal for 2. Alexander, here comes Alexander, baseline down the paint. Can't get it to fall. Thomas for Bethel was the recipient of the rebound. Thomas in the corner. Over Stevenson. All the way across the court to Tapley. Back to Davison, who shoots and misses. That was McGehee with the rebound, and then a missed shot, and then another rebound. Bethel wants a timeout. 56-38, 4:29 remaining. So Bethel team foul count is 5. Bristow's still at 4. So 2 more fouls for Bethel will send Bristow to the line 1-1 in bonus. Which is gonna, Bristow needs all the help they can get right now. If they can get in bonus and get some free throw attempts here in the last 3 or 4 minutes, that'd be good for them. Bethel just kind of quietly extend this lead to 18. We'll see what kind of fight Bristow has left in them here. Remainder 4.5 minutes, down by 18. They're going to have to put some stops together and some good offensive possessions. Bethel still has the ball, though, so they need to stop right here. Tapley. Roebuck with the rebound. Get it back out to Edmondson. Edmondson down to Yoakum. Yoakum can't handle it, and Yoakum caught the ball off balance and couldn't get set to make a shot before the defender was there. Unfortunately for Bristow, the ball went out of bounds, and Josie McGee's shaken up. I'm not sure. It's an ankle. So Bethel coach goes ahead and decides to call a timeout to let McGee try to recover. I'm not sure what's going on. She's bent over, got her hands on her knees. She got tied up with Yoakum as Yoakum was trying to get that pass and go up for a shot. But I'm not sure what she's injured. She's still bent over at the knees, got her hands on her knees, and looks like she's in quite a bit of pain. Even with 18-point lead and 4 minutes left, that's going to be huge for Bethel if McGee can't go. Now she's holding her stomach, but she's walking back out on the court, so I'm not sure where she's injured or how she's injured. She's kind of holding her stomach and walking kind of slow, but she's on the court, going to fight through it, I guess. So Alexander with the inbounds. They're double teaming Edmondson. Edmondson gets the rebound in, and as she dribbled towards the goal, she was fouled by McGehee, and that's her 4th. And that pass is wide, coming from Morgan, trying to get it down to Alexander, and it goes out of bounds. So a turnover for Bristow. It's exactly what they do not need in this situation. McGee's pass is too hot for, I believe it was Tapley. Just couldn't handle it. It was a rocket coming through there. So Bristow ball. Alexander to Edmondson. Edmondson to Morgan. Morgan over to Roebuck. Roebuck out to Edmondson. Edmondson to Alexander. Alexander looking. Gets it to Yoakum. Yoakum. They're charging Yoakum with a push off. There was a little bit of collision there. That's Yoakum's third foul. Davidson in the corner, being guarded by Yoakum. Now Morgan. And Davidson can be called for the walk. So both teams kind of gone flat here on offense. Keep turning the ball over to each other with no production for almost a full minute now. Actually, over a minute, because we were at 4:30 at this score earlier. Now we're just at 3 minutes. Here comes Bristow. Alexander in the paint, and she puts it up for two. Bristow double team Stevenson. She gets it back across to, wow, that's big. So McGehee passed it underneath to two of her teammates standing alone, and they didn't catch which one caught it, but I think it was Tapley. A walk, so no point. It would have been easy point production for them, and they get nothing. Alexander to Morgan. Morgan with three-point attempt, no good. Here comes Stevenson. Gets past Alexander, but then slows up. McGehee in the paint, driving. In and out. Roebuck, rebound. Evanson. Edmondson down to Morgan. Morgan for three, and it's good. So now all of a sudden it's down to 13. Double team. And that shot's no good. A fight over the ball. Tapley gets it back out to Stevenson. They had Bristow burnt with the pass underneath, but Tapley couldn't get it to fall. Edmondson working on Tapley. Tapley gets it to Thomas. And Thomas to McGehee. Morgan in the corner for three. No good. Stevenson with the rebound. We're down to a minute left. And I believe Bethel's going to be able to just, they should be able to kill this clock here. I don't know if Bristow's going to, if they were going to start fouling, they should have already done it, but yeah, they don't appear to be looking at fouling on purpose. To be honest with you, they just let a good 20, 25 seconds go by. And I don't understand. They have a foul to give. And you just let Bethel burn 25 seconds off the clock. You're down 13. I'm sorry. I can't do math. Down 15. But down 15 with like a minute 20. And Bethel had the ball. You got a foul to give. Why not try to salvage that clock?
Don't look at me like that. Shut up. You should
not to be critical of Bristow coaching staff, but clock management there, I'm not sure. I agree, but I'm not a coach, so. And there's a foul by Bristow. They were just attempting to steal the ball. So now that was their free foul they had, and I'm not sure if they even meant to do it. So Bethel trying to burn the clock here. Doing a pretty good job at it. Almost a stolen ball. Stevenson. Over Tapley, and that's going to do it. So Bethel takes the championship 58-43 over Bristow. Pretty good ball game. I really don't, that score really doesn't reflect the game, Jacob. I don't feel like it does. 15 point deficit. It really doesn't. It's kind of unfortunate. It doesn't really show Bristow's fight and how well they really played. Bethel got that lead out to 18 or 19, probably late in the third quarter. So I'm going to be quiet so you can hear the presentation of the championship trophy.
He also will be presenting the winning coaches trophy to head coach of the Bethel Wildcats, Coach Kellyville. And now your champion of the Kellyville Invitational Tournament, the Bethel Wildcats. And the girls will also receive the individual medals.
So there you have it. Bethel Wildcats walk away with the golden ball for the first annual Kellyville Invitational. Congratulations to Bethel. And congratulations to Bristow for runner-up. Bristow did fantastic. Played great overall. So congratulations to those ladies. And hope to see Bethel back again next year. Hopefully we'll do this again, and
Well, yeah,
they'll come defend the gold ball.
Well, yeah, after they scored that many points that first game, we kind of, not really good to assume, but safe to whenever they did that. So, congratulations to the Wildcats. Hopefully, we see you guys again next year. You guys were great. If any Bethel fans are watching it, congratulations. These girls are awesome. Yeah, so tell you what, we got 12 minutes on the clock. Championship Saturday. Kellyville and Colcord up next on KVrising. You'll only catch it here. We'll see you in just a little bit.